Hey guys, what's up? So, we just got back from an entire weekend, an extended weekend, whatever. There's a huge wasp nest right there. Well, let's talk about this weekend, and I'm going to try not to get stung by these wasps. Okay guys, so yes, we just got back from it was 4 days of training with the Warrior Poet Society. We're with the Warrior Poet training. I asked John himself what exactly you're supposed to call it. It's Warrior Poet Pistol 1 and 2, Rifle 1 and 2. So there you go, that's what it is. Anyway, I still have an inkling that it should be called something else. Warrior Poet Training, whatever. It's Warrior Poet Rifle 1, Rifle 2, Pistol 1, Pistol 2. But we did those classes and they were awesome. Totally awesome. At the end of each day, I went ahead and did like a after action report kind of thing. And if you've seen those videos, it's probably pretty evident that I'm pretty washed out at the end of the day. My brain's digesting all this information and it may not make as much sense as it should, and probably a lot of it sounds the same where I'm saying it's mindset. He talked a lot about mindset and I'm not going to tell you all the secrets. Well, might be more of what this video is about, because really, in a nutshell, a lot of his stuff, a lot of his teaching, right, and instruction is on mindset. It's a big mental game. All right. However you are using your gun, whether it be for personal protection, right, for your family protection, church security, law enforcement, military, whatever it is, it's not about the arrow, it's about the Indian, right? It's about this mental machine up here, and having this thing sharp and what all the things that entail that's more important than knowing how to pick up the gun and shoot the gun. So anyway, we did talk about pulling out the gun, different ways to index the gun when you pull it out, different ways to stand, different ways to grip the gun, leading with your eyes when you're shooting, only moving your upper torso, right, and pivoting and statue, these different catchphrase words kind of things. If you've been to his classes, you know what I'm talking about. All these little things, he didn't teach us one big thing that was like, oh, like all of a sudden now we're the most amazing shooters in the world. He basically took us all and he rounded us out and took off the rough edges and gave us the tools that we needed basically to make ourselves better. He showed us where we were messed up, how to fix it, and now it's our job to go out and practice and train, and now we know how to train properly. So there's the big difference between seeing something on the internet, trying to emulate it in person, and yes, you can probably do it, and there are people that will tell you you can do it, and you can. It's just going to take you a lot longer and a lot more rounds to get competent on that. So in a nutshell, that's what I came away from this whole big last weekend of training over there. We shot a lot of rounds. I think I brought 1,000 rounds of rifle, 1,000 rounds of pistol, which isn't like a lot of rounds, but it was a good amount. It was a good amount of rounds, and they were like well thought out. It wasn't just like go blast a bunch of bullets and practice stuff. No, it was good. You had certain things you're working on, and when you do that, that's what I'm saying. When you're under the eye of a competent instructor that can tell you to practice this specific drill, this specific thing, and focus on the specific action your body is doing, and then you're like, the light bulb goes on and you're like, oh, okay, well that makes sense. And now I can take that away, bring it back here to my range that I go to and practice that. And now it's so much better. So anyway, that was the mindset thing. That was the stuff that I came away with it. It's not so much like, it'd be like going to a weightlifting class. You're not going to come away from that weightlifting class being all bulked out and jacked and like ripped. No, but you're going to know, hopefully, I've never been to a weightlifting class, obviously. But in theory, you would know, how to make yourself better, right? You can go to whatever kind of event it might be, like karate or whatever. You go to some of these schools of training and stuff, whatever. They teach you that, but that doesn't make you the best person in the world. So I come back and I go shoot at the range, and if I'm not careful, I will slip back into the ruts and things that I've been pre-trained, I've done before. It's like I said before in another video. It's like I have to fill in the mental tracks, the mental ruts that my mind has put down and been ingrained with other teachings and things that are kind of outdated, don't really work necessarily. I have to get rid of that, right? Pave a new road and now go down a different track. It's going to be a mental game, and it's something well worth doing. Anyway, I'm gonna get on a rabbit trail if I go down that too far. But let's talk about some of the gear that I used. that I brought to class, and some of the things that worked and didn't work. Okay, so first off, pro tip: if you go to a place like I was in Colorado, right? If you go to one of these places that's got a lot of sun, and about 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock, whatever, we get some clouds and stuff rolling in, and it was nice, dry heat. It was hot, but it was nice, but it was a lot of sun, and I got burned up pretty good on my neck and on my face a little bit. Wear a hat all the time. But my neck got burned up pretty good. I didn't wear sunscreen, should have. My arms were fine, and that, honestly, these things are no joke. These, I don't care where you get them from. I like the SA Company ones. Yeah, I bought them. They didn't send me these or anything. That'd be cool if they did. These things are awesome. Yes, they may make you look a little weird wearing the little arm sleeves and things, whatever. I don't care. I don't care. I learned that the hard way before in different things. I think of the tactical games. I think the first time I didn't wear them, and I got burned all up, right? Second tactical games, wore them, loved them. They're great. They keep stuff off of you in a way, and they keep you feeling a little bit cooler, and they keep you from getting all burned up. And my arms did not get all burned up. It was awesome. So I highly recommend whatever kind of outdoor thing you go to, these are pretty cool. These are pretty cool, and they're not expensive. Or my regular gas can Oakley thingies. They're great. They're fine. They do what they need to do. I don't like them by themselves because they will just fall right off your face. But if you're wearing a hat and you can push them up underneath and wear Ear Pro, hold them in very well. Since we're talking about Ear Pro, I don't know if I'll be able to link it below or if stuff's still available, whatever. But these are the Peltor Range Guard. These are their cheaper version of Ear Pro. And I took off, you can see some different videos. I don't think I did a video on this, and other people have done it, so I don't know why I would need to do it. You can take off the muff things, right? Kind of show you a little bit closer. You can take off the standard ones that they come with, which are a little shorter. And these are like, I think these are for aviation headsets and things. These are more gel type, right? And they are more comfortable. They're not expensive. You just get the gel, the replacement cups or whatever they're called, and then you need some M3 sticky tape that goes on the back side. It's really not a hard little swap to swap these things out. It might make them a little tighter, right? Because they're thicker. If you can see, they're a little bit thicker than the old ones. But I'm telling you, when you put these things on and you're wearing them all day in extended time, having gel cups versus these short little foamy ones, it is a lot more comfortable. And bring batteries. I had this thing beeping at me half the time telling me the battery's about to die, so bring extra batteries. That's a little pro tip for you. But that's pretty cool. That's a short little thing on this guy. I haven't talked much about these. I've been testing them for a while. I bought these gel cups about 6 months ago, I think. And I've been playing around with them. I bought them specifically for this class, knowing I was going to be wearing Ear Pro like all day, or most of the day. And I'm glad I did that on this one. Made a big difference, made it a lot more comfortable. And that's not a hard upgrade. Let's talk about ammo. As you can see right here, I got Tula. And I know some people probably gonna be like, oh man, this is stupid, whatever. Okay, here we go. Tula ammo is not bad, okay? It is steel cased, it is dirty, all those little things, whatever. But for me, in general, it will function 95% of the time. Notice I did not say 99% of the time because I do have failures that I would lean towards relating to steel-cased ammo, right? I can't prove it was the steel-cased ammo, but I have a feeling it was. That's why I'm going to say 90 to 95% reliability on these things. I have shot thousands and thousands of steel-cased ammo, whether it be Wolf or Tula, and in general, they cycle and shoot very well. If your gun won't shoot Tula, it's probably a high-class gun that's made to be run certain ways with certain kinds of ammo, probably not a carry gun. And if you're carrying a carry gun that can't run it, personally, I would recommend looking for a different gun, okay? That's just my personal opinion, take it or leave it, okay? But that's what I shot, was 115 grain, 9mm Tula, and this stuff for my pistol worked great. I did have a couple, I think I can remember definitely one, so I'm gonna say maybe two, okay? One was a failure to feed, I think it was, and the other one, it wasn't even, it was a magazine thing, it was a grip thing. I popped the magazine out, that's all it was. But there was a single, from what I remember, a single failure to feed, that I remember, a single failure to feed, out of almost 1,000 rounds that we shot, doing a bunch of different manipulations and stuff with the guns. That's not bad. And it's a training environment, so it made me have to tap rack and fix it. There you go, that's it. Easy stuff. I highly recommend that ammo just for shooting in general, okay? knowing that it will probably at some point cause a malfunction that's going to have to make you tap and rack. It's training ammo, okay? That brings up this stuff, the Winchester 115 grain stuff. Their steel case, USA forged, for however they forge this stuff, whatever they do with this stuff, is the grittiest ammo that I can find, steel case stuff. And I've shot a lot of that. I've shot thousands and thousands of those rounds through my Glock 43X, and it cycles very well out of the 43X, but you will run into some issues, right? And so I would recommend Tula is a smoother case over the gritty, like literally gritty steel case of the Winchester stuff. Anyway, moving on, magazines. I tested out one of the nickel-plated S15 magazines. I absolutely love this magazine. It is amazing. If I get more S15 magazines, I'm gonna get the nickel-plated ones. That's just hands down. I think it costs like a couple dollars more. I don't care. That's totally worth it to me. That is awesome. I had some issues with one of my magazines before. It had some rusting and stuff, and so I stripped it down and I micro slicked it. I put a relatively thick coat of micro slick on here. I need to put a thicker coat of micro slick because it kind of wears off. Metal on metal wears. Can't get away from that. That is why the nickel-plated, it's gonna work a lot better in my opinion, and so far I'm not seeing it wearing through and stuff. Nickel plated is the way to go. Okay, so as Shield, y'all did awesome with this, and you did awesome with these too. This just, you got to take care of them and stuff. It's a metal magazine, you got to do regular metal magazine maintenance. But it worked well with the bumpers and stuff. So 20 round magazine, they worked well. I don't think I had any issues with them that I remember. I did bring the Tyrant Designs +4, so a 14 round magazine with the OEM magazine. This guy ran well too. They sent this to me. Literally, they did send this one to me to test out and to break and to do my stuff with it. So I've been running it, and I ran it in the class as well, and it worked well. That's all I can say. It worked well. I don't remember any malfunctions with this magazine with the extension on there. It worked great. So if you like the OEM style magazine and you don't want to go break the bank on one of these S15s, you're not going to break the bank, but you don't want to spend the money on one of these, you can get a +4 extension, bring it up to 14 rounds. It's not a bad gig. It's not bad, and it worked well so far. All right, that was the magazines. The pistol, I should save this last because it's not really correct. I did not use this holster, and I did not use this gun. I used my 48, my Glock 48. Try to roll in a picture of that thing. I don't have it anymore, and that's because I posted a video. I'll try to link it if I can figure out how to do that. But that's because I got John's his War Poet, his MR920. See, he even signed it and all this kind of stuff, whatever. But he liked that 48. I think he really liked the Holosun 507K that was on it. And basically, I explained it in the video. In short, we ended up trading guns, and that was really, really cool. I wouldn't have sold it. He was trying to buy it off of me. I wasn't gonna do that. I just couldn't sell my gun for money, but to trade for his gun, I did that. So that was pretty cool. That was pretty neat. If you haven't seen that video, I'll try to post it or link it, whatever. That was pretty cool. But my 48 ran like a sewing machine. It was awesome. It worked very well. The 507K, the little red dot, it ran beautifully. It did very, very well. No issues with that at all. Presented great. The holster, the Tier 1 holster, which I don't have that holster either because he took the whole kit and caboodle, right? So this is another holster from another manufacturer. But I had a Tier 1, I think it was the Axis Elite or something like that, with the big wedge. I had the big wedge, or the medium wedge. Anyway, I had one of the wedges on it, and it worked well. It worked very well. The way that I had them build it, it was a 48, right? And so it went all the way down, like this one. It goes all the way down to the bottom, and so I didn't have the barrel, the end of the barrel, like if it was made for 43X. You know, it wasn't burning me in my nethers or whatever. It kept the heat off and stuff, and it was really cool. So that worked out very well. I used that for both Pistol 1 and Pistol 2, okay? Moving on to the rifle, when we did Rifle 1 and Rifle 2, I ran this guy the whole time. This is my, I call it a disser, D-I-S-R. Someday maybe I'll get my 07, I'll actually make these, but right now it's a prototypist kind of thing. I'm just trying to put together my best and favoriteest pieces and things. And there's a couple things I want to tweak and whatnot. This is the first iteration of it, but it ran well. It ran well. I don't remember any major malfunctions caused by the gun, okay? I did have a step case with the steel. Okay, this is where I was ranting and raving about how I love this Tula 9mm. That stuff's great. If you're going to be shooting rifle ammunition, right, tapered cases like 308 or 5.56, you need to be careful, because if you're going to go to a class and you're going to shoot a lot, right, and you're going to heat your gun up real hot, right, like you're doing mag dumps and things. Well, what happens if you leave the gun loaded after it's been heated up real hot? I got a stuck case because it heats up and then everything cools back down and it grabs that case. So the gun will fire that round, but it won't eject it. It won't pull it back out, and now you'll have a stuck case. So I was sure to bring a cleaning rod, right? A nice cleaning rod that would fit all the way down the barrel. I actually had it zip tied to the side of my upper, and thankfully I did, because on the firing line I was able to, cut the zip tie off, pull the rod out, and rod my gun and get that case out. Okay, so after that, that was like the first day. That was within the first, I don't know, couple hours. After that, every time we would call ceasefire, I just clear the gun out, because I didn't want to deal with that. I knew that that's going to happen again. Just Murphy's Law, it's just going to happen, so I just clear the gun out. Wasn't a big deal. But keep that in mind. If you're going to be shooting steel cased ammo a lot, right, shooting it a lot, you got to keep that in mind. But the gun itself, it ran pretty well. John had some interesting things to say about it. He shot this on a demo showing how to control your recoil, how to really control the gun.
Wonderful. Took me just a little bit because it was hopping sporadically for me. It's a little bunny on top where it's like boing, 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 boing. It just reminded me of a little hopping bunny. And it wanted to hop sprightly up, right, left of like the tiniest little nuance difference of what I would do would pretty dramatically change where it hopped. Do you notice that too?
Yep.
And so the hop is always around the same height, kind of no matter what I did. And it would go up a little bit, right? This, like it's drawing a little bit of a whatever around it. And so I'm kind of like, there's not much I can do about it. I've got a firm right here. And then when I really tried to be aggressive into it, it made it all go to crap. And so I had to just say, this one's going to hop a little bit. And so all I need to do is time it for the shot, 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 and just let this little bunny dance. And that's just fine.
But he shot it, and basically he said it was goofy. I think that's what his words were. It was goofy because it just kind of bounced around. He said like a little bunny, the red dot did. It wasn't consistent, like up, 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 or to the right or whatever. It just kind of bounced around a little bit. I don't know if that was the suppressor being on there. I don't know if that's the fact it was a mid-length system. I don't know if that's the fact that it was a steel case ammo. I don't know what caused that issue, but that's what he had going on with that. But for me, shooting the gun is very controllable. It's not real heavy. When you take the suppressor off, it's really not heavy. It's very maneuverable, and it worked really great. The suppressor, like I said, it worked really great. I actually stacked this. I should have got video of it, but I stacked this up against two other cans, two other guys that had some cans. I can't remember their manufacturers or who they were, but the cans are almost twice this length, right? They were pretty stinking long. And to everybody around, they said they all basically sounded the same. So I spent way less on my can, right? It's way shorter and lighter than their cans, and it sounded about the same to the naked ear. That's pretty good if you ask me. So I really am impressed with the Turbo K, Wide Shim Turbo K. Really worked well. Accuracy wise, I've had some issues with this Faxon barrel not being really accurate. It still wasn't the best accurate gun, but most of our shooting was within, I think it was all within 50 yards. I don't think the range went out past 50 yards. So for that kind of stuff, which is what this guy's built for, 100 yards and in basically, it did what it needed to do, and it did great. Everything else about it, I'll do a full breakdown on this sometime after I get it all worked out how I like it, but everything has worked wonderfully. The Breek Arms rail was awesome. Did what it needed to do, meaning it didn't come loose, I guess. But I like the length of it for the mid-length gas system. It brings everything out as close to the end as it needs to be brought out. These are MGP CQB grips. These grips are from, I got them off Amazon. They worked really well. There's no real issue with them. They work with the M-locks. And I did wear a glove on my hand. I would highly recommend that if you're gonna be shooting a lot, because it's gonna get really freaking hot with these rail covers or not, it's still gonna get hot. But yeah, but they worked fine. They gave give you something to grab onto and everything. The light, I ran into something that I haven't really focused on in a very long time. I kept NDing my light, right? Because I use the button on top as an index point, and when I grip the gun, I'll turn it on. And I ran into several times the instructor would be like, "You're NDing your light," and I'd notice that, and we'd be shooting around a barrier, and I'd pop the light on. No, so that's one thing going to a class. I need to change my grip, right, and keep my freaking button or my thumb off of that button. Keep my thumb off the button because I keep NDing it, or move the button. But I like it on top. I just need to keep my thumb out of the way. Anyway, other than that, everything ran well. I have these ScalarWorks iron sights. I ran the whole thing with a red dot. I probably should have popped the red dot off and ran the irons. But to me, the irons don't get in the way. Even though they're up here all the time, they're like a lower 1/3 witness, I think, lower 1/3 co-witness. So they're not in the way. When you pop the gun up, you would have to put your head down a little bit more to get the irons. So they're not in the way, and they're always there, and they don't weigh anything. So I really see no reason to take them off necessarily. They just really worked. They really worked well for me, at least. Anyway, so that was the rifle. That was the rifle. Ran regular PMags. No issues, PMags or PMags. We all know their reliability, they work well. And that was pretty much it, guys. That's pretty much it as far as gear. I did have my war belt that I've talked about in the tactical games. Nothing really changed on that. I wore that mainly just for the dump pouch on the rifle classes. The dump pouch for magazines and the magazine pouch, right? The single magazine pouch on the side. I didn't even wear my gun in my holster. I probably could have taken the holster off, but I didn't even wear the gun in there because we didn't do transitions from rifle to pistol. That's not what the class was about. That's not what we were doing. So I didn't even worry about it. But yeah, but if you want to look at that war belt, it's in one of the gear videos I have for the tactical games. I haven't changed it since then. That's pretty much it, guys. If you have any questions about anything you saw here or any of the stuff at the class, I know I didn't get really into super hardcore details about the class because again, I don't want to try to take away from potentially feeding you bad information. I'm not an instructor right now. I don't claim to be. Maybe someday, but no, not right now. So I'm not trying to give you advice on how you should be shooting or what you should be doing and things like that. That's not really what this channel is about. That's why I'm going to classes. I'm getting as much information as I can. So go out and find some competent instructors. And that's one of the big things, again, that I learned this whole last weekend is the mindset thing, right? Find an instructor, one that you're compatible with, whatever that means for you, right? If you like the hardcore yell in your face and cuss your neck off, go find an instructor that's going to do that to you. I mean, there's plenty of them out there. If you like the kind of instructors that are willing to teach you and really care about you and want to give you as much information as they can in the best environment that they can, okay, we'll go find those people too. I think you can tell where I lean on that whole situation. I've had both, and they're different. They're different. But seek out some good training, seek out a good instructor, and really, it is well worth the investment to go train under the eye of a competent instructor. You can learn a lot from yourself, right? By shooting and evaluating yourself, taping yourself, reviewing, seeing what you're doing wrong, where you're wasting movements and all this kind of stuff. There's a lot you can do, and you could become the world's best shooter by doing that. It's just going to take you a long time. It's going to take you a lot of ammunition. You can cut that a significant margin, I would think, by going to a couple classes and getting ahead of the curve, of your own curve, right? And getting some instruction. So seek out an instructor. It's well worth the time and money. I paid for the class, and I'm glad I did. Really. All right, guys, I'm beating a dead horse to death, talking in circles. So I appreciate you watching, subscribing, commenting, all that kind of stuff. I really, really do appreciate that. It helps me out. It helps me know when you comment and things that, you actually saw enough of the video to comment about it. And if you just tell me, my hat's weird or whatever, I don't care. That's fine. It just lets me know you actually saw the video. But big shout out, two more things. Big shout out to my Patreon folks. I think we have like 60 y'all. I can't remember exactly right now. It fluctuates. Some people come, some people go. Y'all are really amazing. I don't say enough about y'all. I really don't promote that page that much. And for y'all that have been there, I hope you didn't just you know, become a Patreon and forget and you don't even remember. I hope you did it for a reason and you're still here for a reason, because there's some guys that have been on there for a while and I really appreciate it. Y'all are really stinking amazing guys. And gals, maybe you're gals too, I don't know. Sometimes it's hard to tell by the names and all I get is the name. But anyway, I really appreciate y'all. And also huge shout out to John again for doing that video about the War Poet changing out guns and stuff. You could tell he was tired. You could tell he was a little tired. His voice is a little messed up, but I really appreciate him doing that. So thank you again. And that's pretty much it. All right, guys, if you have any questions about this stuff, you know what to do. Y'all be good to be safe, and we'll catch y'all in the next video. I absolutely hate wasps. These are right here by my door. Yikes.